It's me, MC of Healthy by George. I come to you every Sunday and Thursday, and I have to tell you, please subscribe. I would love to see you here, and let's join in that discussion about our health and well-being as we get older. So, what am I going to talk about today is something called BPA. And this is a chemical that's often found in plastic containers. It stands for Bisphenol A, and typically this chemical in plastics helps plastics be stiff or hold their shape. They're commonly found in water bottles, food storage containers. They line food cans that are tin because they prevent erosion. They're in receipts such as thermal receipts, those receipts that feel flimsy and have a coating sometimes that they are made from this thermal paper. And also too, some sealants in our teeth that dentists use have BPA in them. Why is this such a concern? Apparently, when you have a content inside the plastic container, the BPA leaches or seeps into the food or the liquid or anything else that, if you're touching a receipt, it's leaching into your skin. And so we have some research studies that have shown that this chemical disrupts our endocrine system. And the endocrine system is our hormonal dynamics, cortisol, estrogen, progesterone, all of these types of things that kind of keep us functioning as human beings. And it's really important, our hormones, because it's what really allows us to have what we call homogeneous nervous system, and our whole body kind of works in a certain way because our hormones are registering in a certain manner. But if they become disrupted, suddenly all of these imbalances happen, which impacts a great deal of issues within our body. One of the biggest issues that BPA is impacting is infants and children. There have been some evidence that when women who are pregnant and their urine is measured for BPA, if you have a very high level of content of BPA in your urine, this could be a really big indicator for some type of developmental issue for the infant. Children who have BPA in their urine, sometimes that can be something that could be an indicator for them and their nervous system and their endocrine levels being disrupted. And when you're a child, like an infant or a child, you're still in that big time developmental measure. That's your critical time to grow and be who you are. So to have levels of BPA in your system is not a good thing. I think the other problem for adults is BPA has some sense of risk for heart disease, diabetes, and some types of cancers. So what can we do? We have to be mindful of how can we find things that don't have BPA in them. So we need to look for the symbol that says BPA-free plastics, or get used to using glass or stainless steel containers, which is more expensive. I don't like giving up my plastic containers, to be honest with you. So it's a bit challenging when I see that we have to look more closely at BPA. And apparently, the ones that are black, the black plastic containers, that often food delivery is using those black containers in the bottom, it's just horrible. And the other problem is you should never heat up your food in these containers. And yet we have all these meal delivery programs using plastic containers that are black or dark, and we're heating up our food in the microwave with these containers. So if you're using some type of a meal delivery program, make sure they're giving you BPA-free plastics. I think that's a key thing. I haven't really looked into it. I think it's something we have to start understanding and reducing our use of these BPA-containing plastics. That's the problem when we're using these we have to avoid using these plastic containers. If you're going to heat something up in the microwave, putting into glass is much more safe. You have to look at your foods in a can to see if they are free of that lining that has BPA in it to make sure that it isn't contaminated, because that will clearly make sure that you are consuming BPA. And if you are handling receipts and stuff that you think are thermal, wash your hands. Don't let, or get rid of it. Don't take it from the place that you're going to. Don't accept the thermal receipts. You don't need it. Keep track of it another way. You don't need the thermal receipt. So how do we know that something is BPA-free? Typically, it's on the label. It says BPA-free on the bottle, the containers, your kitchenware. Anything that says a recycling code of 3 and 7, those could contain BPA in them. Figure out a way to use glass or stainless steel or ceramic for your food. Or if you know you're going to use plastic, that it's plastic that's BPA-free, and then perhaps when you go to heat it up in a microwave, you put it on a ceramic plate. Look for things, use wood or bamboo or some silicone containers. Like I'm looking for those silicone bags that I can use. Also, some plastic wraps could have BPA in them. Check your plastic wraps to see if you're using something that's got BPA. We have to be cautious about canned goods as well. So use fresh or frozen, or look for cans that are BPA-free and see how the labeling says, because I think companies now are putting this on their cans. So above all, work with your containers in your home to reduce how much BPA you're exposing yourself to, especially if you're someone who is trying to get pregnant or wanting to have a baby. I think that's the biggest risk for women, is that the endocrine disruption that could possibly lead to infant development issues or children development issues. That is just something that is so difficult. So anything we can do to reduce those risks, and if we know that BPA containing products is something that puts it as a higher risk, we got to get rid of it. There's enough toxins in our environment to not have to get rid of the toxins that are in our containers. So let's work hard to see how we can avoid using BPA plastics or cans with the lining of BPA, or any kind of plastic film wrap, or containers such as those Ziploc bags. All of those things are something that potentially could contain BPA. And then on top of that, let's avoid using plastics to heat up our food. If you have a plastic container that has the food in it, remove it from that and put it on glass or ceramic before putting it into the microwave. We have to do small things to keep our health in its best place as possible. Besides being surrounded by ultra-processed food, we also have to think about, what does our food come in? How is it manufactured? How are we storing it? Our ways of being healthy seem to be more complex than they ever have. So let's help ourselves by limiting how much BPA exposure we have. Take a look at your cupboards. Get rid of those black containers that are plastic. I think those are deadly. I don't even think they're good to store foods in the refrigerator. I think the risk of having it leach into your food is not very good. Work to get rid of your plastic containers if they are not BPA-free. Check all of your cans. See if the lining is BPA-free. If not, toss it. I know that's horrible, but I think it's safer to get rid of that food than consuming it. So let's do what we can to help our poor endocrine system, or hormones, or cortisol, so that we can definitely have a more happy, progressively healthy body as we get older. Think about this. Join me here every Sunday and Thursday, and let's learn together so that we can keep ourselves healthy and strong as we get older. Be well, my friends. We have this one precious life. Let's live it intentionally with things that don't have BPA in them, okay? Bye-bye. So thank you so much for joining me at Healthy by George. I hope you found the information inspiring and that it encourages you on your wellness journey. Because remember, your body, your well-being are a most precious gift, and every tiny action taken daily can make a huge difference. I hope the information here is educational purposes and is not meant to replace your medical care. see your doctor and talk about what works for you. If you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me continuing creating content that inspires and empowers you to live your best life. Goodbye for now, and join me again at the next Healthy by George.